Hello Internet, my name's Warren and I am looking at Alien Isolation. Now I've done this as a first glance, first impressions kind of thing because I'm curious on if my opinion will change from the start of the game to the end of the game. And secondly, I've kind of gotten stuck and quite early on, which I'll talk more about in the gameplay portion of this little first peek. And I just kind of wanted to talk about it now and then in some next audio clips talk about the actual franchise, like look at the movies, and then by the time I finish rambling on about those and their own little ones, I will hopefully have completed the game and then can give a full depth look at have my experience with it then. So without further ado, let's look at Alien Isolation. Now the game looks kind of rubbish. If we're going for the presentation, the graphics feel really dated. The character models look like plasticine, for lack of a better term, and move weirdly. But this is only in the cutscenes, it seems. Actual FMVs. And also the frame rate drops quite drastically in these times as well, making it stutter a lot. And I thought this was a problem in my version of the game. I've got a PS3 version of the game, and I thought it was a problem on the previous gen consoles, but according to some online reviewers, this is also a problem in the more modern versions of the game on PS4 and Xbone. So yeah, that really turned me off when I first started playing the game. I wasn't too happy with that, and it's kind of persisted in the other couple of cutscenes I've had, including one where I missed the reveal of the alien because it jutted through the experience, which is annoying to say the least. But other than that, the visual style in the actual gameplay doesn't seem to have these problems. The environments look really good. I say good in that they look realistic and they fit the decor of Ridley Scott's original movie. So they feel like part of the universe, and they look like real places people could have been, workstations, and it looks like something terrible has happened as well. They're quite gloomy and disturbing, and it helps build an atmosphere that's, so thick you need a sledgehammer to bash through it. So that's kind of bringing me back in. The atmosphere is strong enough to keep me going so far, in spite of what the cutscenes are doing. So that's kind of it for the physical presentation. The plot of the game is, which again, when I first heard about it, was one of the turn-offs for me, was they basically taken the story of Amanda Ripley, who is the daughter of Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver's character in the movies. She actually is introduced in Aliens right at the beginning for Ripley to discover that her daughter had died of old age by the time she was recovered. And so that made me very wary. It's like, oh, they've taken a character who we have a definitive ending for, so I kind of know the ending of the game, because they can't change it, otherwise they ruin continuity, and then they got a whole list of other problems for me to deal with, because I'm kind of a fanboy in continuity and continuity issues, particularly when it's cross-media, people trying to change things. But my understanding is that, looking at the behind the scenes and things of this, that the people behind it seem to know what they're doing. They know the movies quite well, and they seem to be fans themselves. So that being said, I kind of got past that point. I kind of got over myself, because the gameplay itself is very intriguing. And that moves us on to the gameplay, let's be honest. Oh, wait, no. Let's finish the plot first of what I got so far. The premise of the game is that Amanda Ripley is hunting for her mother. Her mother obviously has disappeared at this point due to the events of the first film, and is now missing. And Amanda's trying to get work in areas that are close to where the Nostromo went missing. And this guy comes up to her with an offer to take her to a space station for a job that has the flight recorder from the Nostromo on it. And so he's offering to get her close to the Nostromo's data so she can kind of find out more about what happened to her mother. And for some reason, I'm not quite sure why she was reluctant to go at first, and then, decided to go along with it. Naturally, things have kind of not gone to plan, and, the proverbial fan has been hit, and now we're on the station, and there's a monster loose, and people going nuts, and it's survival of the fittest kind of mentality going on. Which leads us into the actual game itself. The gameplay is from a first-person perspective, something else that again kind of turned me off. This really had low points going in. I'm not a fan so much of first-person sort of shooter games. I tend to find them very repetitive, and I tend to find the stories really terrible, and some of the worst endings in video game history I've experienced through first-person shooters. I should say my video game history, not actual video game history, because I don't know. I haven't seen all the endings of all games. So anyway, I get on board, and this is a first-person stealth game, which also I thought I don't know how that's going to work. I've never really done first-person stealth. My stealth games tend to be very much Metal Gear Solid franchise as a whole, and something like Manhunt, where it's always third person, because knowing your surroundings is quite key to being stealthy. And seeing the gameplay videos really made me feel that they've done this quite well. And the gameplay for me so far has thus been picking up items that I can use to make useful items, so scrap and bandages and things to turn into med kits, and other things to turn into flares. And it's just been going around and very slowly building up, kind of like Half-Life 1, into the situation. So I've played for probably 2-3 hours worth of game, and not much has physically happened. I've had one encounter, which was a stealth encounter that I kind of flummoxed and just had to run for it. And, but the atmosphere is really keeping me in there. So, it hasn't gotten boring so far. It's a slow build, and it's kind of building my own character, even though there's not much to Ripley at the moment. I'm still feeling in this world that, it's really sucked me in, I guess is what I'm saying in a million different words, and that I'm kind of hooked. Now, this is where I mentioned earlier that I've gone stuck, is that I'm on level 3, basically. I'm going off the trophies that I've completed mission 1 and mission 2, and I haven't completed mission 3, so I'm assuming I'm on mission 3, and I'm stuck right at the start of that mission. And it's getting very annoying. Basically, I have to get into a room, I get shot at, and then I pick up a hacking device, and then I kind of have to sort of find some batteries for it, which I'm assuming are in this room somewhere. And 5 people with guns turn up, and they always kill me, no matter what I've tried. I tried hiding by the door, which I even started looking up Let's Plays, and everybody seemed to hide by the door and just whack them with a wrench as they came through. And that hasn't worked for me. They always shoot me through the door, which kind of sucks. I've hidden in pipes and things. I can kill a majority of them, but one person always manages to finish me off, which is a real pain. And I'm stuck there, and I was about to throw in the towel of the game, but I picked up the Ripley edition, and it's given me 2 DLC levels, and I thought, if I'm going to throw out the game, I'm going to play these DLC parts, because they at least feature the alien. Yeah, I haven't even gone to the alien yet. And if I'm going to give up, I'm going to play against the alien first, see what that gameplay is like, see if it's as tedious as this goddamn bit with these people are. And actually, playing against the alien was a ton of fun. The 2 scenes that this DLC consists of are scenes from the original Alien movie. So one is a take on the vents scene where they're trying to flush it out into the airlock. You can pick between a couple of the characters from the movie, which was very cool. And the second one is the Last Survivor scene, which is the end of the movie of Ripley trying to escape. And both scenes played awesomely. Again, the character models look like crap in the cutscenes, but the actual gameplay more than made up for it. The alien is a lot of fun. It's an independent AI creature, so it doesn't have a pattern. It just kind of does its thing. It'll patrol for a while, it'll get bored and look somewhere else, and pick other rooms to hunt for you for. And if it senses you, it'll attack you. And sometimes it hid. A couple of times it set a trap for me of hiding in an event and then murdering me when I went under it. They were a lot of fun, a lot of tension, particularly in the last Survivor episode, where for the game you're basically taught not to run around the alien. You run, it hears the footsteps and it comes for you, and you pretty much always die. And then on that one, once you set the self-destruct, you have 5 minutes to get to the other end of the ship, so you have to run. And it's like, I was told not to run, and now I'm running. And they captured the tension perfectly, and I really want to get to the alien in the main game now, which is why I'm doing this first impressions to see if I feel it's as tedious at this point, and then at the end, when I finally get to the end, and if it was worth it. But that's me rambling. At the moment, I'd say if you can get the Ripley edition of the game, that's worth it just in itself. Even if you can't make it through the main campaign, playing those 2 bits felt like I got my money's worth. So happy with that. So at the moment, I'm kind of recommending it. The atmosphere is pretty killer, and yeah, I'm going to see if this carries on. So next time I ramble on like this, it should be to the 1979 original Ridley Scott film, and then the rest of the movies, and then by that point, with any luck, I'll have completed this damn game and give you my final verdict on it right then. So that's it for me for now. Thanks for listening to this horrendous ramble, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Have fun. Bye-bye.